Hi, what's up, guys? We are live. I am live. Um, what is going on with this? Gotta get rid of the overlay. There we go. All right, we're live. So it's been a while. What's up, guys? Probably gonna be a quick one too. I know I've gotten like a million messages like, why aren't you streaming right now? I will let you know it's actually a personal life issue. I want to preface it by saying this is not a dry bag in the least. I'm sharing this information with you all so that you are aware, but it's all taken care of financially. It's Gucci. I have a dog. I have two dogs, Jake and Jolene. Jolene is 11 years old, and she is not doing well right now. She has a growth on her back that may or may not be cancerous. We don't know right now. And over the last couple weeks, it has just grown exponentially very quickly. It ruptured. So we've just been going back and forth to the vet quite a bit to get her on some antibiotics and try to deal with the infection that has happened because it is ruptured. She's in a lot of pain and she's pretty lethargic. So she's on some medication right now. We're just trying to control the infection so that we can go in and see if she's a candidate for anesthesia, which she might not be because she's pretty old. And, at that point, we would have to get surgery to have it sent off and biopsied. So it's just been a lot. The poor dog, we've had her for, her whole life pretty much. So it's just been very sad. Yeah. So it's been a lot. And I've just spent a lot of time driving back and forth to the vet and, putting pills and cheese and trying to get her to eat it, and then laying on the floor with her because she's in quite a bit of pain, and unfortunately scrubbing dog blood from just about every part of my house that you could possibly imagine, because the thing ruptures when I'm at work and I come home and it's a mess. So it's just been pretty shitty, and that's where I've been. So yeah. Okay. Kimmy Dawn has a 17-year-old dog. That's what I mean. Like, it sucks because you have dogs and you hope they're going to live forever. And as she gets older, we're just kind of facing the possibility here that, we're going to have to let her go so that she's not suffering. But she's got another probably 5 days on the antibiotics before we make any decisions. And I know that she has a slight heart murmur, according to the vet. So they have to check that out, do some x-rays, run some tests, and see if she could even make it through the surgery. It just sucks. So, all right. Personal business out of the way. Personal business out of the way. We are still looking into delete Lawz. This is the most extensive records request that I have ever done. It's still pending. We've been quoted a tremendous amount of money by a tremendous amount of police stations just to get to this guy's record. It's unbelievable, this fucking guy. I don't know that I've ever dug into or profiled somebody with such an extensive history of just grifting and lying and taking advantage of people. Thank you, Michael Bowman. But again, I just have to go ahead and say that I am not dry begging. I mean that, like, the vet is paid for. When you take your dog to the vet, you are paying as services are rendered. I don't have any outstanding bills with them or anything. I take her in, they do the tests, the exam, whatever. They give her the meds. I pay the same day. We're good. So I do not need money for the vet. I was just letting you guys know why I haven't been around so that you know. Again, it's personal. But yeah, I'm not dry begging by any stretch of the imagination. I'm good. We're paying the bills. So thank you, Dutch. Oh, I just got a side rail here. So yeah, delete Lawz. This has just been really extensive, and I just actually sort of have to thank delete Lawz before I put him on notice that we're about to absolutely digitally butt fuck his world. Because thanks to delete Lawz, I have been motivated to start building a new studio space. I have some friends that were supposed to surprise me with this information, but they already broke the surprise. So next weekend we're going in and we're building a brand new studio space, which is going to be good. If you notice, I haven't had my camera on because I've been at home, and we can see here, not that aesthetically pleasing here, not really. So yeah, So, I mean, he has motivated me to kind of get back on the horse with some of the stuff, because this guy is just going around taking advantage of people left and right. And I've spoken to several of his scam victims at this point. I've spoken to other, creators across different platforms that he has caused problems with. I've delved into some of his criminal history, and I've delved into a lot of his lies. This guy is a pathological liar. His entire life story is a lie. Everything that he says about himself is a lie. Unbelievable. Odin wants to know, is he like AFA? I would actually say that he may be worse than AFA. And the two of them have actually sort of partnered. And what they are doing essentially is they are trolling around on the internet, finding grieving families whose family members, children, aunts, uncles, cousins, whatever, have been killed during police interactions. They are making them promises that are wildly, wildly out of the realm of possibility. They are, attempting to kind of strong arm and threaten them in some cases, steal their stories, monetize them, and leave them with nothing but false hope, right? It's terrible, absolutely fucking terrible, to the point to where they are providing, at least one person that I've heard of, with these contracts to essentially steal the rights to the story of, what happened to their loved ones, send it over to a documentary crew, and leave Josh fucking Abrams with sole rights and the whole stories that are not even his. Josh Abrams is running around telling people that he has access to super secret government and police records that nobody else has access to, and then obviously never providing them because they don't fucking exist. Like, it's just absolutely terrible. Absolutely fucking terrible. He's just absolutely grifting everybody. So I just wanted to watch this video he put out today. I heard that it was pretty dumb. I haven't even seen it yet, but just to see kind of what kind of mental, giant, what kind of intellectual titan we're up against here. And I have to say that I do the glasses, great look, really looks distinguished, really looks like an intelligent guy.
And I won't be able to sit in card chat for very much today, but I will be able to card chat a little bit as I get to the next place that I'm going. I really should have been a school teacher. In another life, I would have been a school teacher. If the world wasn't in the state of affairs that it is in, if the world wasn't in a state of affairs that it was in, I would probably do something else with my life, like teaching or coaching or one of those things. And so, tomorrow night, I want to just get right into this because I'll post this and people will watch it or they won't. And so the thing about what I'll be is it can be implemented. There doesn't have to be a delay in transparency. We can implement this system right away. As soon as we have, this is the whole reason I always am going crazy about executive power. Because once you have executive power of a state, you're the president of that state. You can implement all kinds of things. You can implement all kinds of change of a state. That's why we have to fight so hard to get there. And we will get there.
Okay.
So transparency tomorrow.
All right. So, I mean, right off the bat, I feel like he doesn't understand, doesn't really understand executive power or what that means. Now, I understand that he wants to run for governor. I don't think that he fully understands what that entails or what kind of power or responsibility a governor has. Unfucking believable. Oh my God. Okay. All right. This is good. She's Louise, Jose.
Tomorrow night, when I lay this out for you, initially, you're going to go through, and I've been talking to people about how the system works, exactly how the system works. And then initially, people are going to have this 1984 Big Brother kind of feel to it. But I go back to the solid question that I've asked time and time again. And what that question is, if there is not a camera there and it is not on film and you are charged with a crime, let me ask you a question. Are you going to beat those charges? Are you going to have to defend those charges? So, you're promoting American Pride Ohio. Good. I like American Pride Ohio. I haven't even seen any of his videos yet. I only saw 5 seconds of one, and then I'm so slammed. You have no idea. There's people who are calling me, telling me that they're going to court tomorrow. They're facing double jeopardy. Their kids are being taken. There was a kid I talked to in Texas here, and I talked to him last night. And he's a 29-year-old black guy. And I was out at my buddy's ranch out here, and the black guy said to me, he has 2 felonies on his record. And I said, what do you have 2 felonies for? And he said he had 2 felonies. He got a felony when he was 18 years old. For shoplifting. And because it was just over $300, they charged him with a felony. He was 18 years old. That was 10 years ago for him, 11 years ago. And I said, what judge, what human being sits on a bench, claims to be a just person, a good person, a person of integrity and somewhat moral, even though morality is the social construct created by the social contract. You can read about that by Jean-Jacques Rousseau. He goes into deep detail about how morality will be created by the social contract, that man is born perfect. However, when we put the social contract over the top of man, and you have to get food, shelter, warmth, and protection, you have to get those 4 things, that man will do almost anything to provide food, shelter, protection for themselves and their family. So the social contract that we live under is the construct that creates morality. So I talked to this guy last night, 29 years old, and he said they charged him with a felony when he was 18 because he shoplifted just over $300. And so the judge charged him with a felony, and they stuck it to him. And then he got a drug charge a few years later, and that was a felony as well, even though it was just a possession. He was just out on the town doing drugs with his friends, which about half of America does pretty regularly. Probably more than that goes out on the town and parties, whether it be alcohol, cocaine, meth, weed, you name it, pick your chemical, Friday and Saturday night. And here's a little fun fact for you in case you didn't know this. If you want to live a long life, if you don't want to die young, let me give you a fun fact. Most people in the United States of America die on Saturday night. Most people.
So this is a pretty meandering live stream that he's doing. We are how long are we? So we're 4 minutes and 59 seconds in, and we have yet to hit the topic of transparency. He doesn't seem to be too interested in that. He's throwing out a lot of statistics that he's not able to cite. I mean, I don't Is Saturday night like, the night to die in America? Is that accurate? Or I feel like he's just pulling this out of his ass. All over the place here. Holy shit.
People die between the hours of 10 p.m. and 4 a.m. between Saturday night and Sunday morning. If you want to live a long life, then during those hours on Saturday and Sunday morning, do not participate in any kind of social event or go anywhere or do anything. That's the number one time that people die in the United States of America. So they had hit him with 2 felonies and he had done no jail time. And now he's being charged with a 3rd felony. For having a gun in his glove box, and he wasn't allowed to own a gun because he was a felon, even though his charges were shoplifting the first time when he was 18 and then drugs when he was 24 or 25. And now he can't carry a gun, so even having self-protection is a felonious crime where he has to go to prison. And now he's facing prison. I just want to find that first.
I just want to point out here that he is acknowledging that felons can't have guns. There are other circumstances in which you can't own a firearm or carry a firearm, Jose. One of them would be, if you had some active restraining orders with a Baker exception. I just want to throw that out there. We're going to earmark that for a later date because I like to give it usually about 24, 48 hours before we start launching nukes, which we're just about at the point where we can start doing Chili, Jose, delete Lawz, whatever the fuck you're going by right now. So let's just earmark that, though. Some people legally can't wave around guns. He somewhat acknowledges that right here. It's good to know.
Judge, you gave an 18-year-old kid, guy, girl, trans, gay, I don't care what you are. Who gave an 18-year-old kid who was on the cusp of legality of whether or not it's a felony or misdemeanor? What judge in God's green earth says, I'm going to put a felony on this kid for life at 18? Who does that? What kind of human being are you? You are trash, and I don't believe in hell, but I hope that you pay somehow. So, okay. So now when you hear what I just said to you, and I gave you 3 examples, the first one was he was arrested for shoplifting, charged with a felony. The second one, he's charged with drugs. It's a felony, even though it's just a possession. He's a vehicle, and they investigate him for sleeping in his car. Are you listening? That's a Terry stop. That's Terry versus Ohio. So, dude, you're driving like a bat out of hell. Go ahead, bro. Go ahead. Get there. Get wherever you got to get, my friend. I'm not going to drive that fast right now. So now I'm going to correlate this to transparency. Let me show you what transparency does. The different system that is not called law enforcement and it is not called police. We do not call these people law enforcers. We do not call these people police. Those 2 terms, dead. Cop, dead, gone. Those terms are gone. We're getting rid of those terms. Those terms were created for slavery.
I see people in the chat going, well, this kid broke the law, 18, you're an adult. I'm not even going to debate that. All I'm going to point out is that he has yet to drop a name or any real material facts, any of this. So it is entirely possible that this person does not exist. I cannot stress enough what a pathological liar Jose Maria is. Okay, this guy is a fucking pathological liar. He steals bits and pieces from media and his imagination, whatever else he can, to build this narrative about who he is and his life and his qualifications and everything else. There is absolutely no substantiation at this point that this 18-year-old or this 29-year-old person, as he's citing now, even exists. And it would not surprise me if he is just making the story up entirely, because this is how much this man lies. You will see very soon how much this man lies.
Well, I can tell you it's not a Texan that got a felony for $300 shoplifting. Got to be $2,500 in Texas.
Those terms were created so that we could have an authoritarian commerce state based on the Chamber of Commerce, so you could arrest the people you didn't like. And that's what we're seeing still to this day. So now tomorrow, when I show you guys what transparency is, I want you to put it in correlation to the gentleman I was just talking about. 18-year-old shoplifting, felony for drugs when he's 24, 25. Now he's got another felony for having a gun in the glove box of his car. And so now imagine that when that gentleman was 18 years old, when he had been stopped for shoplifting at 18, and imagine if there's a transparency officer on the scene. That means, just so you know, and I'm letting the cat out of the bag here a little early for tomorrow night, because this presentation, I'm just going to get the final things, presentation on the walls, and I'll walk through it tonight before I show it to you guys tomorrow. A transparency officer has goggles that go in a 360-degree area. Now, these cameras go out to 4 different buildings. 2 are transparency, 2 are Montesquieu. We could even have a third called Locke, but let's just go into Montesquieu. So now, what happens there is...
So what he's doing right now is this is essentially an infomercial. And what he's talking about with these 360-degree goggles, it looks like something out of fucking RoboCop, is he has essentially taken what looks like reflective electrical tape or something and wrapped it around his face. And he has this insane idea that these are his transparency goggles, and they will have cameras at 360-degree angles, and police officers will start to look like something out of fucking Minority Report or some shit, and wear these around. And this is something else that we're going to see as we get into the next week and start to kind of unravel the layers of this douche, is that he constantly has these fantasy products that he is trying to cook up and then sell, because he's otherwise a completely unemployable fucking douche whistle. right? Like this is his next grift, and he's setting it up right now. So, you know, what he's doing here is he's doing a live stream, and he's pretending that he, you know, he's talking about this this supposed guy that he's talked to who has these felonies at 18, you know, and then 21 years old, and he's 21 now, and his life is ruined. We don't even know if he exists or not, and he's segueing into these fucking goggles that he has dreamed up, which has got to be one of the most, you know, half-cocked ideas I've heard in my life.
Yeah, I mean, he even even one example where he had the guy there, and it was about like the guy having to pay child alimony to his 2 sons, and how he was struggling with, you know, with the government that he's paying them and it's not coming out. What he fails to mention is that he also has a daughter which he's not paying for, that he should be. And it's just like, he always, you know, just covers up the parts that don't look good.
Right, Joshua Lee's done the math. He wants 360-degree 4K cameras fitted to each person. The cheapest camera I can find is $500 a piece. Right. And, you know, this is a guy who also has a pipe dream of running for public office. He does not understand these basic details. I mean, you can't expect him to understand things like financial reality, though. The guy has never had an apartment in his fucking life, lived in an office space at one point before he was unceremoniously dumped out of there, and, you know, has failed in every single business venture that he's tried. Absolutely spectacular failures.
And he has no concept of what the government all does. He thinks once he becomes governor, he can just, you know, at the flick of his fingers, get rid of all police and put this into place. There is, you know,
right,
a Senate, you know, a state Senate and state House.
Well, he thinks that he would become the president of a state, which is not the correct terminology, as we saw in the beginning of this video.
Yeah.
Is your video of you being forced to interact with the state. So just so you know, none of it would have happened if it had been transparent. None of it would have happened. Let me get into it. So when a transparency officer comes on the scene, then what happens is we now know that there is a minimum of 5 people watching. The transparent officer, the transparent rights protector, and then you have one person in the Montesquieu, which will be several, one person in the other Montesquieu, one person in transparency, and the other person in transparency. If your TV from that transparent rights protector is only being showed on one TV in that building because the heart rate monitor hasn't escalated. And so what happens then is you get people who understand the law watching this, and in that guy's headset, you hear them say, disengage. Why are you waking that guy up asleep in his car? Leave him alone. No one's complained about him. Leave him alone. But what we have in our towns and our cities and our states, you have these roving bands of gang members who pledge allegiance to a blue stripe and not to you and me and not to justice and not to the Bill of Rights. So they pull over that kid who's asleep in his, hold on a second, transparency officer. When that transparency rights protector sees someone asleep in their car, there's 4 other people in his ear. There's 4 other people in that transparency rights protector in his ear. And they say to the guy, leave him alone. You don't need to investigate someone asleep in their car. Leave the man alone. He's asleep in his car. Leave him alone. That's what we're dealing with. We're dealing with this horrifically bad system where we have the lowest educated people who are the dumbest people who are cops, who love their job because they get to grab people and physically manhandle. And they get to manhandle people and hurt people, and it's all used under the color of law. Meanwhile, when a transparency officer comes on the scene, you no longer have to touch anybody because it's all on video. Everything happening here is being broadcast in 4K. We spend the money not on these bumblebee cars and weapons to attack people and tasers, which are going to be phased out. Good term, right? They're going to be phased out. We're not going to have tasers anymore. We're not going to have guys with sticks and guns walking around as though they're some sort of superhero. That's all going to change. And whether you like it or not, the digital era is already being used against you. They are already using cameras against you. You are the target of their cameras. And that's where we are. That's where we are. We've employed the dumbest, most brutal, the dumbest people are cops. The dumbest ones. They're so stupid. These people are so dumb. And that's what we're dealing with. We have stupid people who are in charge of the law. They don't even know. And you guys see this from people who are called First Amendment auditors. That's not specifically what I am. I'm an activist. But
I'm dead. I mean, I'm just waiting for him to like unveil like the thought crime unit next. You know what I mean? Like, listen, you don't even have to go bother somebody who's sleeping in their car because we'll have psychics that are, hooked up in giant pools of goo, and they will be seeing the future and deciding who is going to commit a crime in the future. Like, it's just fucking ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous what this guy is talking about. This is pure science fiction.
Yeah.
Pure science fiction. I mean, the reality of having these 360-degree 4K camera glasses with 4 people in your ear at all times. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. And you're going to be completely unarmed.
Well, welcome to the purge if this happens. Yeah, exactly. It's ridiculous. A religious cult leader, nothing more. I was involved in something very similar as a kid. It's absolutely a power grift. 100%. And you know what? Once he unveils this, I'm sure that he will need money to make a prototype of these glasses. And you, the subscribers, will need to pay for that prototype for a product that's never going to come to fruition. And certainly never going to be employed in, police departments anywhere. It's a harebrained idea.
Yeah. He goes into what he's actually pitching this to. He'll go into who he's pitching it to a little bit later, but it gets good.
I mean, it's already this is just all like this is a clown show, absolute fucking clown show.
Yeah, he keeps doubling down on stupid.
You see people walk up to these cops and say, what are the first big five freedoms? What are the first big 5 freedoms of the First Amendment? And the cops don't know them. They have no idea. They have no idea. They don't know what your rights are. And so you have these people who don't know what your rights are, who are in charge of your liberty. And so what that has done is that has created a dystopian state. It has created a dystopian state, and it's despotism. I put the word of the day, despotism, and I put it up a few weeks ago. And if you don't know what despotism means, you should really take a look at what despotism means. DESPOTISM. Anybody gets bonus credit if they put despotism. And Ragamind, you can think that all you like, but and so all the people who are bitter and indignant, that's another word of the day that I put up, indignant. All the people who are indignant and distrusting of any kind of government apparatus, it's because we've never been able to see what they're doing.
That's not entirely accurate because for the low price of a few dollars out of your pocket, you can usually pull records from your government. That's one form of transparency. Body cams would be another. I do just want to throw out here, so Harry was kind enough to provide a picture that we can put up of the transparency goggles. Here you go. Fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger. They go nicely with his headphones, don't you think? I think it looks nice. Yeah. You're right. The data storage. Thank you, Sarah. That's like another, like, the data storage needed for this would be insane. Absolutely fucking insane. You're employing 4 people to be in the ear of this person. I hope that, I hope that the headphones that he envisions look just like that too, so that the police are walking around looking like this, because that would be just fucking fantastic. But this is what he envisions. This is what he's pitching here. It looks really, really promising. Really, really good here. Yep. Good stuff.
It's because we've never been able to see what they're doing. Everything they're doing, from the legislation they write to the judges to the legislators, to the judges, to the prosecutors, to the cops, we've never been able to see what they're doing with our tax dollars. And now that you guys are seeing it on camera, the way people are treated,
again, that is untrue, because you can request these things, so you absolutely can see. When they're writing legislation, these bills go through a process, and they're published. You could read them for yourself. You have absolute access to your elected officials from the municipal level upward, right? Like there is a level of transparency that is there if you just take the time and effort to access it. Or you can, push for something like this. That's yeah. That's a plan too. You could do this, or I mean, again, you could just acquaint yourself with open records law. That's what I do anyway, Jose.
It's horrific and it's horrifying. You're watching your brother, your cousin, your uncle. You're watching that person get a knee stuck in their chest, or they're cuffing your sister behind her back and she just had shoulder surgery, and you hear the family screaming, "She just had shoulder surgery, please don't do that." And the cop is saying, "I don't care. It's our policy." And he re-tears her rotator cuff that she just had surgery on. Now we're all seeing it on camera, and it makes us sick to our stomach, as it should. And who's doing it? The dumbest guys in high school. In my hometown, just so you know, and I won't blast his name publicly, but in my hometown in Alaska, in a real tiny town, my town's 2,000, not even 1,500 people. 1,500 people. Thanks, bro. 1,500 people. That's how many people are in my hometown. 1,500. And the kid who ended up in my high school, or the high school over, who ended up being a cop, I was at one time in high school, just so you know, I think my freshman year, I think we were in a clique together, me and this guy. We were in the same clique, and there was only 5 or 6 of us in the clique. It was me and A and T and J, and those guys were in the clique together. And so, just so you know, the reason I left that clique is because A got into a fist fight, and then T got into a fist fight with my cousin, who knocked him unconscious. I told him, "Don't fight my cousin, dude. My cousin's crazy." And he fought my cousin, and my cousin knocked him out on the street. We picked him up off the concrete. And the reason I left that clique is because I was a state champion level wrestler by the time I was a freshman in high school. Woulda, coulda, shoulda won the state tournament my freshman year, my sophomore.
Which there's no record of.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I got to stop that there and just point out that we have found no record of this anywhere, right? Absolutely 100% unsubstantiated. Most of his stories about any sort of professional wrestling, fighting, anything of that nature, I can't find anything to back it up, nor has he provided anything either. So, and again, we're going to be peeling back the layers over the next week in a series of videos with this. But this is a lie by all record at this point in time. This is a lie. He's lying.
It'll be much easier to figure out what he's telling the truth about.
Senior year, that's how I've known that I'm the A personality that I am, because I've been able to beat the state champions from 12, 13 years old on, and win the state title myself as a senior in Greco and in freestyle. And so high school was a little harder because a lot of emotions and all kinds of stuff, but it's not the point. I lost. There it is. I got beat by guys who were better than me. How about that? So when I left that clique with T and A and J, and I'm not saying their names because I love these guys, except for the guy who became a cop. One of those guys in my hometown became a cop. And wouldn't you know it, the reason I left that clique is because they were getting in fistfights all the time. And I didn't want to get in fistfights all the time. I already knew how tough I was. I didn't need to prove it. The only time I got in fights in high school is when I saw someone bullying someone little. And I would go over and I would go, hey, I'm your Huckleberry. Why don't you pick on me? And then they didn't know what they were getting into because they didn't know I'd Jap Wizard them. And I did. A Jap Wizard throw on the concrete is brutal. I'm not talking about how tough I am here. What I'm talking about is this. The guy in my high school who walked around with a chip. Remember, I left the clique he was in and hung out with new people because he always wanted to fight people and prove how tough he was. And I wasn't about that. I had been bullied my whole life, and I didn't want to see him get in fistfights with people, win or lose. I just didn't want to be a part of it. And I remember leaving that clique, and the guy, A in that clique, we're still in touch. We're still very good friends to this day. I have a great story, you know. Wally World it is. So what I'm saying to you, though, is that guy who had the worst attitude ever, who fist fought everybody, who walked around like he was the toughest guy in the world. He's now a cop in my hometown on the peninsula. He's a cop. The guy who walked around like an a-hole, fist fighting, fought my cousin, got knocked out. That was it. I stopped hanging out with this clique. I found a new clique. And so that's the guy who's the cop in my hometown now. That guy who was a total Neanderthal that wanted to fight everybody. That's who.
So I really can't even with this. Like, I'm just going to kind of fast forward through some of this because all of his bullshit anecdotes are not really interesting to me right now. He's all over the fucking place here. Jesus Christ. So let's see what else is coming out here.
Who the cop is. Jail. Get a new jail. Lock more people up in jail. How's that working out? It's not. It's not. God. Putting people in a dungeon makes them worse. Separating families and breaking up a family unit makes the family worse, makes the kids worse, makes the people involved in that family unit worse.
And his daddy issues are hitting the surface.
So transparency can be implemented immediately. As soon as we have a governor that is willing, and it'll be me in Ohio in 2026.
Probably not. Probably.
As soon as we have a governor.
Probably not. Jesus Christ.
This is he grabbed me. And then the cop's always right. Like in my trial in Tempe. The cop presented no evidence, no video. The pictures he did produce didn't show anything. And I said, he's presented no evidence. And the judge said guilty. I'm appealing that. Elizabeth Olsen, I'm going to get you removed from the commissioner's position. In Tempe, Arizona, Elizabeth Olsen, I'm not done with you by a damn sight. I'm coming after you legally. I'm coming after you. I'm going to get you taken off that bench that you didn't swear an oath to. You're a commissioner. You're a lawyer who fills in as someone who's supposed to be a judge. You're garbage, lady. I'm taking you down legally. So
legally. So, yeah.
The people of America tomorrow, when you guys see the presentation for transparency, remember, there are multiple people and multiple agencies looking at the camera, looking at the video. This is going to cost us a lot of money. Oh, James, we have money to go to wars. We have money for COVID where everybody has to wear a mask. That was bullcrap. We have money to get vaccines for everybody while the pharmaceutical industry makes $58,000 a second. Every second. But we don't have any money for this. No.
I'm just going to shut that up for a minute right now and see who is with us right now. It is Tina Slay Richardson. How are you, Tina?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
Good.
So let me do a quick introduction for anybody who doesn't know. I live in Springfield, Missouri, and I had the unfortunate pleasure of having Mr. Jose Marie de Castro in my house for 10 days. I'm the mother he came here for. I'm the one that he took advantage of using my son's name for part of his grift.
Yeah, and he took you for a ride. So I have spoken to Tina in the past, guys. She's shared quite a bit of information with me on what both delete laws and accountability for all have tried to do to this woman is disgusting. Absolutely fucking appalling. Absolutely appalling.
And so I know somebody said it's easier to find out the truth than the lies. If his mouth is moving, he's not telling you the truth. And that's, I don't know how else to put it.
So do you mind just kind of maybe recapping sort of how you became involved with him, as comfortable as you are with doing
Sure.
so, just so that people understand? Yeah.
So my son was murdered in Springfield, Missouri, November the 2nd, 2020, in his front yard by a DEA agent. My son has no criminal history, no criminal record. They weren't even there for him that day. And someone had sent me Chili's TikTok midsummer. And so I started watching his TikTok videos, and I noticed his big wall. And over in the corner, he has all of these pictures of people that he calls legally departed. So I just sent him a message and I said, hey, would you mind if you could just add my son to your wall? Not to sell, but just add his picture to the wall because he's been legally departed. And it began a conversation. And Chili reached out to me and he says, I'm coming to Springfield, Missouri, and I'm not going to leave there till I get justice for Caleb. So he fundraised for 2.5 weeks. The truth starts to come out that he's in this office space that his friend Jeff Lloyd allowed him to teach in. And something came up with Jeff's secretary, personal assistant. Chili said something probably inappropriate to her, and she filed a restraining order, and he was being evicted from this office space. However, he did an $8,000 fundraiser in July because he told everyone he needed $8,000 to pay rent. So there's lie number one, which I didn't know because I wasn't there in July. And so I'm going to go inside. It's raining. Sorry, guys.
That's okay. I appreciate you going through this because I know it's difficult. And again, I just want to stress, guys, that this woman has lost her son and she's grieving, right? And so, like a lot of these quote unquote activists and First Amendment auditors and everything, they attract people who have some sort of grief or strife or some sort of negative interaction with law enforcement, and it becomes very exploitative. So here this family has lost their son, and Delete Lawz, or Chili, as he went by on TikTok, interacts with her and immediately gets his claws into her and starts using her grief, for his own benefit.
Right. Exactly. And so then Chili, it was all about fundraising to get to Missouri. And he said he was putting all of his stuff in storage. Well, he went to his storage unit one night on one of his TikToks, and his storage unit looked like stuff had been in there quite a while. It's not that he just put it in there. It looked like it'd been there quite a while. We later find out he's been couch surfing for the last 2 years. So before he came to Missouri, about 2 weeks before, I am with my family in Tulsa, Oklahoma, celebrating my upcoming birthday. And I get a phone call from Chili, and he asked me to co-sign for his van, the one that he's traveling the country in right now. Now, mind you, I don't know this man from Adam. I've talked to him a couple times on the phone. And I just said, Chili, my husband would kill me if I co-signed a vehicle. I don't even do that for my kids. Not happening. Sorry. And he said, well, I haven't.
Oh, sorry. I think we lost you a little bit.
Like
there we go.
5. He said, I haven't had a vehicle in like 3 years, so I can't get a loan. But I'm good for it. I'm sorry, Chili, I can't help you. The day he got to Missouri, he got into a fight with Talib Kweli on Instagram. And if anybody doesn't know who that is, Talib Kweli is a rapper. He's also an activist in the Black community. He was in Missouri with Michael Brown's family during Ferguson.
Yep, and he's the same rapper that was slandered by Turtle Boy Sports. Turtle Boy got into a Twitter argument with Talib Kweli at one point and responded by writing a blog accusing him of being a child rapist. So
right,
things
so
interact.
yeah, so he told Talib Kweli to get on his knees, and Talib Kweli called him a racist. And that started Chili's spiral. He got here on the 23rd of October, and he was spiraling. He wasn't supposed to stay in my house. He said, oh, I just need to take a nap. And he ended up staying for 10 days. And instead of focusing on the rally, which he promised that he would bring in hundreds of people for this big rally, well, he didn't bring in but one. Everybody that was there was family and friends of myself and another mother, Renee Goodwin. The only person was one of his moderators that came down from Kansas City, which subsequently is no longer talking to Chili, because Chili famously told him to go suck his, and I'll leave that alone. His favorite line. So I'm trying to figure out, how am I going to get this man out of my house? And Renee Goodwin calls me and says, Tina, Chili just yelled at me because he knows he's wearing out his welcome at your house. And he asked if he could stay at my house. And I told him absolutely not. And immediately he starts yelling at me and telling me that I'm feeling guilty because I'm the reason my son was killed by the police. And I said, oh my God, Renee, that's horrible. So I came home and confronted him, and he immediately told me she was lying. And I said, Chili, this has been one of my best friends for over a year and a half. I trust her more than I trust you. So there is a YouTube video where our local activist, Larry Flanoid, called Chili, and he put it on live stream. And I was on that phone call. Chili didn't know it. While he's in my house, I'm on this phone call. And he essentially told Larry that my son's life didn't matter. Renee's son's life didn't matter. He didn't give two fucks about either one of them. That I'm going to be dead in a year anyway. I'm never going to see justice for my kid. He based all of his stuff on the art of war and how much money he's going to make and how Larry's going to be his partner and he's going to take him along. And Larry's like, you don't come into my city, my town, and take advantage of these mothers. I'm not down for that at all. And anybody can go listen to it because Larry posted it. There's about 10 minutes that Larry didn't get recorded because we thought of it secondhand.
Do we want to watch that right now?
It's about 30 minutes long, but if you want to watch it, by all means.
All right. Why don't you just continue and I'll pull that up and we can watch it after, I guess. So while he was in your house, as I understand, because I know, again, we've had this conversation before, but
I think she dropped.
Oh, okay. Oh no. All right. So I will just say that, because I have spoken to Tina before, and her story is quite disturbing. While Delete Lawz, or Chili as he went by on TikTok, while he's in her house, rather than focusing on putting together this rally that he had promised to support her son, her deceased son, he spent a lot of time essentially trying to use the social media connections that Tina had fostered through this horrible experience that her family had gone through to try to get some more clout and exposure for himself. And this included, using her cell phone without her permission to reach out to these other creators and essentially either cause problems with them or try to gas himself up. That's correct, right, Tina? Sorry, thanks for coming back.
Yeah, sorry. My sister Sue is in the chat, Sue Schuler, and it was Sue's phone. Well, actually, one time he grabbed my phone out of my hand aggressively, and used it to chat with I Speak 1906 on his live in TikTok. And I told him, Chili, you don't do that. You don't just grab somebody else's phone. That's their property. What is the matter with you? Well, I went to bed. And by the way, folks, Chili sleeps about 1 or 2 hours a night. So you can extrapolate however you want to extrapolate. I'm just telling you from my experience. But when my sister went outside to smoke, he took her phone and texted I Speak 1906. And it was a pretty bad text. And so when I found that out the next morning, I took it upon myself to go text him from my phone. And I apologized greatly. And understandably so, he was not pleasant back because he didn't know. Because Chili not only threatened his wife, he threatened to pull up to his house. This man is in the military. He told him that he spoke to his grandfather, who was a World War II veteran, and that he was going to get I Speak kicked out of the Navy. And I want to point out that his grandfather, this is in October of last year, his grandfather died in May. So unless Chili was using a Ouija board to contact his grandfather, I don't know how that conversation happened. So, like I said, anything he says is pretty much a lie.
Yeah, most of the stories that he tells as we're tracking them down, and trying to at least, come to some sort of like verify it. Like most of the things he says, I just cannot verify. It's just not verifiable. He is a pathological liar.
Correct. I mean, just like his wrestling records, they would still be available. Even when I was in high school, and Chili's not that much younger than I am, I can still go look back on people I went to school and find out if they went to state and they won state in high school. You can't find Chili's anywhere.
Nope, didn't happen. And then Taco Josh was in here earlier, said he actually pulled the state champion list. Chili is he's not on there. He's not on
Correct.
there. Didn't happen. Did not happen.
Yeah,
Correct.
It's not a hard lie to track down. I mean, there's not that many wrestlers in Alaska.
No. And instead of focusing on what he came to Missouri for, he was more focused on being called a racist. And he went in this huge spiral, and he was so manic and so paranoid. And he asked Larry if he knew how to where he could get a gun. And Larry told him no.
So that's before he started carrying around that 44 Magnum that he's carrying now.
If you watch one of his live streams, one of the men from Ironton who came on his thing from child support gave him that gun.
He may not be legally entitled to carry. I just want to, again, we're going to earmark that for later, but this could be a big issue for him in the near future.
And I'm on his list, just so everybody's clear, I'm on his list to sue for defamation. He has made multiple threats to me. I welcome it. I'm waiting. I am not afraid of him anymore. He thinks by saying that you will be afraid of him. And I'm finding out greatly that this is something that he tells everybody, and he's been telling everybody for about 25 years. He uses it as a threat. And I'm not afraid of him by any means.
And nobody should be. Nobody should be. He doesn't have a leg to stand on. He does not have a leg to stand on.
No.
Now, you also possibly found some proof of, some possible drug use when he was at your home too, right?
Right. So
your home where you have children.
Yes, I have. My daughter turned 10 in January, and Chili I live in a 3-2. He was staying in the basement in Caleb's room and going through my son's belongings without asking. Who does that? He's going through my son's stuff. But he would come up and use the shower, and he would rock around this house in a towel in front of my daughter. And we told him multiple times it was inappropriate to do that. He would get water bottles and he would toss them on the ground as he's walking through the house. He spilt coffee from one side of the kitchen to the other side and didn't offer to clean it up, just walked away from it. But Sue was folding laundry, and there was a box on the table, and the box was for a dashboard camera, and it had duct tape on it. And she said, "Hey, Tina, is this yours?" And I said, "No." "Well, let's see what's in it." We open it up, and there's a bunch of unused hypodermic needles. Sealed. And they didn't belong to either one of us.
Yep, in your house with children.
That is correct.
Absolutely unconscionable.
So when he said he didn't care about what happened to my son, that I'm going to be dead, he ran my sister off. She was so... It was just so much for her. She had to leave. And just to add a little thing, I'm adopted. Sue is my biological sister. This was the first time Sue and I had a face-to-face get-together, other than a 5-minute meeting in Minnesota one year. This is the first significant time we've had together. And he made her so uncomfortable she had to leave. My husband got up at 3 o'clock in the morning and told Chili to get the hell out of our house. And for an alpha male, he sure did not challenge my husband one little bit. He was almost in tears trying to backtrack. He told me whatever I heard from Larry was a lie. And I said, I was on the phone call, Chili. I heard it from you. And I'm hoping that there are some of these auditors watching that support him, because Chili stood in my kitchen as a registered Democrat and said, "Oh, this is great. They've branded me a racist." He did not know what a patriot was until I told him. He said, "I'm going to go to the conservative patriots because they're all racist idiots anyway, and they're going to make me real rich, and I'll make them go after all those black creators that got my account banned on TikTok." This is how this man operates, you guys. And
so people are asking about the Larry interview, which I do have here. Now, your sister's saying that the first 10 minutes is really what is most important to play here.
I'm not trying to be insensitive, but why did you let him stay in your house for 10 days?
We kept asking him. So here's where it's going to tie into what Kate said earlier. He was only supposed to be here. The rally was on the 24th. He was only supposed to be here, and he was supposed to leave on the 25th, which was my birthday. When he heard I have someone interested in doing a documentary about the life and the death of my son that has ties with Netflix, the light bulb went off in his mind, and he said, "Oh, I'm going to do it. I'm the producer. I'm the director." Folks, that's what his earphones are for. He thinks he's a director. It's not a sensory thing. If you look at movie directors, that's what they wear on set. It gives him that sense of power.
I see him chatter about Netflix occasionally on his lives.
Correct. And so he decided he was going to shoot the documentary and sell it to Netflix. The problem is, somebody who's supposed to be educated in that area would know you have to get waivers, you have to get permission. He doesn't own the rights to any of it. He wanted to know what the address was for Caleb's house. And I absolutely said, "Chili, I'm not giving it to you. There is a single mother that lives there now with a young child. I don't need some random stranger going over there and scaring her half to death." He did it anyway. And that's the same crap that happened with Josh Abrams. They both did the same thing to me 2 months apart.
Yep.
And
work together is great. Absolutely great. I'm saying that with heavy sarcasm. The two terrible individuals that have just been essentially vying for the rights to this woman's story, her grief, her deceased child, and have essentially been trying to gaslight and trick her into, giving over rights to something that they believe will financially benefit them.
Right. And again, he wasn't supposed to stay here. We offered him to stay. He told us he was going to get a hotel. And then he said he was leaving on Monday or Tuesday. And then it turned out to be a little longer. My husband finally said, when are you leaving? And he said, well, I've got to talk to all these people. I met all of Caleb's friends and they have all these stories. Well, he talked to none of them. He didn't go interview anybody except for me and Renee. And he's profiting off of that. And we told him we would just give him an interview, but we didn't give him permission to profit off of anything. And he's selling those wall graphics. And I can honestly tell you, he's not asked one family member of those people who are legally deceased, as he puts it, or legally departed. He did not ask their permission. And as a impacted family member, we hold our loved ones' image very dearly.
As
And
you
we
should.
don't know. And so Chili's breaking the law by selling and profiting off of our grief. And no one seems to recognize that of his alleged followers. And he's talking to people who are desperate, who feel like their voices aren't heard, and that's why they're resonating with him. That's why they feel him, but they don't realize he can't help them. What real change has he done? Nothing. He's not done one real change.
No, he never will. He never will. And that's why he is consistently having these issues with people who really have a vested interest in some legitimate activism, because he does not want to go out and do the work. He's not capable of making the change. This is 100% for financial benefit and ego stroke. And, it's got to stop. It's got to stop now. He's starting to get some traction. People are starting to take notice. Like, what he started, I am more than willing to fucking finish. And just so that we are aware, guys, so he has monetized these interviews that he has done with both Tina and Renee Goodwin. He has been notified that he does need to take them down for privacy concerns via YouTube. If they are not taken down, then we're going to have to move forward with those privacy complaints. And Furry Potato can certainly have a conversation with Delete Lawz, and she can tell him what the fuck happens when you don't comply. She can't tell him from her Furry Potato channel anymore because it's fucking gone. Just saying.
Right. And there's a movie that Chili was a little bit part in, and it's called Fighting Tommy Riley, where he plays a boxer that gets the holy crap beat out of him. But the story and the plot line of Tommy Riley is this boxer who fights this bad upbringing to do good things. And Tommy Riley's father was a mobster. Well, Chili used to tell people on his TikTok that his dad worked for Pablo Escobar. That's why when he was no-knock raided, however many times, because it keeps changing, that he was thrown in the dungeon with $1.5 million bail to get out because of who his father is. And in the Alaskan restraining order that was filed, that another content creator has posted, along with the Facebook screenshots, Chili tells a minor child, a 17-year-old girl, of the woman he's harassing, don't you know who my father is? We'll come up there and take you guys on a fishing trip, and ooh, it's going to be gross. I mean, he's making threats to a 17-year-old girl, and he's out in Ironton, Ohio, having conversations with minors without their parents. That's unacceptable.
Yep. And of course, obviously his father did not work for Pablo Escobar. That was also debunked as well. This is just, a lot of stuff to unpack here, just a lot. So I will play the first 10 minutes of this conversation real quick, because people have been asking.
All in. Are you?
I am.
All right. Well, then, have a little faith, man.
I'm just trying to figure it out, dude, because, I'm not fit to get out there and support the wrong thing. For me, this is real life, dude. Like, I do this shit for a reason.
Yeah, exactly. I got something for you, too. I got a gift for you.
What's that? Because I mean,
I'll tell you also.
like I can't be bought like a bitch neither. They don't learn that the hard way.
It's a fucking t-shirt, bitch.
Oh, okay. I'm just saying, nigga, like you can't buy me like a bitch. I ain't bought all that.
It's a fucking
So
t-shirt. What's the matter with you? I don't have enough money to buy you. I told you I'm under $1,000.
yeah, I'm worth more than that. You know, my little stripper game pay more than that shit.
Well, let me know, bro. I can always use the hundo.
You know, but yeah, I just want to make sure this ain't no game, man, that you ain't playing like your supporters are like tripping. You know, they trying to talk to you, they trying to reason with you, and Tina's fucking and we what, a couple of days away from Caleb's death? Man, Tina tripping.
Karina?
Oh, just Tina and Tom and all of them, all the ones that I'm talking to.
Say, relax, chill, he goes.
But see, the thing is, I ain't really got.
You ever heard this before? Has anybody else told you the problems with Terry? Has anybody else taught you this?
No, dude, I ain't heard about that until you.
Right. So I brought the knowledge, and now I'm bringing the fucking game to get it done. We have to get it done. It's a life and death game. But it's not a game. You know, everything we do, you can never predict how it's going to go. I could have never got 10 mega influencers to talk about Terry. Did you see the text messages I've sent to people asking them about Terry? I put up like 10 of them.
Yeah, your life is in danger. The one because you sent me, and I was like, who is Tom? Oh, it's Tony, and you was like, oh, copy and paste.
No, dude, my life is not in danger. My life's in danger from the FBI and the DEA. My life is not in danger from thugs on the street.
But why they gotta be thugs? Like, you know.
Well, the guy who made the video is a thug. You didn't see him?
I ain't watched none of it, pimp.
Oh yeah, he's a straight thug. It is what it is, dude. I'm not insulting anybody. I'm just saying, you know, we gotta make this happen, and so that's what I'm doing. But it ain't a game. I didn't know it was gonna blow up that big, and for a while it was scary and hard. And then I've gotten peace because I've known that the whole game, the whole goal is to get as much people as we can to pay attention.
Yeah.
And so now, and by the way, when you see this video I've made for Tina, you let me know what you think, dog. You let me know what you think. I made a fucking masterpiece, bro. This video so far is amazing, bro.
Hold on, let me open my TikTok real quick. I want to see this shit. Like,
look at Granny.coy.
Granny.coy? Who's that?
I'm sorry, Granny Coy Bundy.
Granny, and that's her name on Facebook?
GRA. It's on Instagram. It's on TikTok. You gotta open your TikTok.
I'm doing it now.
You don't think Tina's gonna be devastated about her 25-year-old son being murdered? You got another thing coming, bro. How many parents of dead children have you spoken to? Over the past 20 years, I've spoken to hundreds. The most famous one here is Brandon Ellingson. His dad's Craig Ellingson. Guess who used to talk to Craig Ellingson all the time?
Who?
Me. Craig and I are friends.
Craig and
I are friends. He just bought a couple of my posters. He bought a couple posters that he's never going to use. He just bought a couple posters to support me. And then what I did is I gave it to you because you said you didn't have no money. So I was like, all right, well, I'll give you $50. Just keep you going on your feet until you get to your next place. And then when I need $50, I'll hit you up in $50. You'll hit me back. That's what friendship is. When you trust one another and you love one another and you know the truth is that we have the same intention. We have the same heart. That's why I love you, Larry, because you're fucking genuine, bro. And there's so few people like you, dude. There's so few people. You either gotta be like come from the hood, or you gotta be fucking hard, or you gotta be fucking raw, or you gotta be fucking a victim of the police brutality. You have to have gone through some shit before you're like, you know what? Money doesn't matter. Pussy doesn't matter. Nothing matters. What matters is
changing lives, man. Changing lives. That's what matters to me.
Larry. Change people's lives around the world. You know, Terry, the Ohio's been exported to every single democratic republic around the world. I'm getting emails from Canada every day. Imagine how many contacts I get a day. Imagine how much information is injected into my brain a day.
Yeah.
Because I'm crowdsourced. I have 300,000 followers. And then Granny's got 3.1 million, and she interviewed Tina twice.
So it's all about numbers in the show. Like, that's what it sounds like, man. And
no, you're mistaken, Larry. You're looking at it the wrong way. Man, I mean, I hope I can be real with you, man.
You are, like, for real. Like, I'm just trying to understand, because, like, it sounds like we on different obstacles. You know, we on different ends of of the stick, kind of.
No, we ain't. We on the same stick. I gotta keep editing. So if you want to come over, come over. But I gotta keep editing. I gotta keep editing this video for Tina so that we can get federal attention. I have humanized this boy. I have humanized him.
He was a human anyway. That's the thing. See what, and that's where it gets
mistaken. The color
mistaken.
of his eyes. You gotta see what he looks like. You gotta see his smile. You gotta see him with his sister. You gotta see him holding a dog. Caleb Slay right now is another hashtag. Tomorrow, he's a person.
He was a person before he passed. He's still a person.
But that's okay. Okay. Let me. I'm gonna challenge you a little bit here. All right. I'm not challenging a black man. I'm challenging just a regular man here. I'm a regular man. You are too. Go on your Instagram and put hashtag justice.
I ain't got an Instagram.
Okay. Well, if you go on Facebook and you put hashtag justice and the number 4, and then look at the list of choices, there's gonna be thousands. It's thousands, dude. Because it populates for you. You put in the letter J and Jen, Jennifer, Jamie, Jesus, you name it all the way across. You put in the letter B, Brandon, Brenda, Bobby. You know, it just keeps going. You put in the letter C, Charlie, Kate, Kat, Christopher. It just never stops. You can't find justice for Caleb until you put the 3rd or 4th letter. After this video is done, you put in 1 letter. Justice for Caleb will pop up. That's what we have to get. We got to get justice for Tina. There's a couple goals here. The first goal is to get Caleb national attention and the grieving mother to say he was killed on a Terry stop, which is what she's saying. When she called me up and told me my son was killed on a Terry stop, I'm a white Republican from a law enforcement family. I said, I'll pack my bags. I'll see you soon.
Yeah.
We have to get the white conservatives to say Terry is bad. Black people are never listened to. Black lives don't matter. Since the beginning of our country. Did you know that before 1965, no white person was ever prosecuted for killing a black man?
Oh,
1965.
yes.
Willie Brewster. Willie Brewster was driving in a car down the road in Anniston, Alabama. And when he drove down the road, it was a year after the 64 Civil Rights Act had passed. A guy named Darren Strange shot him in the back because he just randomly shot the car and he drove by. Now, Willie was in the car with 3 other guys and they hit him right in the lower spine. He didn't die right away. He laid on the bed for 3 days. A doctor that oversaw him named Dr. T.C. Donald. He said he sat with Willie Brewster every day. And he talked to Willie about his life, and he told him all about his life. And then Dr. T.C. Donald put his name in the paper with 200 other prominent white conservatives. And he said, we are done with the murdering of black men in Alabama. And we'll put up a $20,000 reward to find out who shot Willie Brewster. Well, those fucking poor racists, they turned him in within 10 seconds. And Darren Strange was the first man. Now, that's 1965. He was prosecuted. He didn't do a day in jail. He went out on appeal. He got shot in the face by the mechanic 3 months later because he was a piece of shit racist. Now, let me ask you a question, Larry. How many black people were killed before 1965?
Shit, I can't even tell you, bro.
How many were lynched? The first man who ever got his case prosecuted was in 1965. That's why I know Black Lives Matter. What I'm saying is, from the beginning of time since our country started, Black lives have not mattered. They still are not mattering. They're still getting murdered in the street on camera and nothing's happening.
He just talked himself into a circle. He just told them Black lives didn't matter, and now he's saying Black lives do matter.
Well, I think what he was trying to do, and this is terrifying to listen to, honestly. This is, I know that I had listened to some of this before, and what he's doing essentially is he is appealing to this man based on the fact that he is African American, right? And so he is really, really, really pushing hard on this idea that you as a black man, your life doesn't matter in this country, but I'm going to make it so. He has no power to do so. I don't think that he's particularly invested in these issues at all, right? Realistically.
Right.
But he's doing this to try to garner some support, garner some clout, and the dry bag is coming soon on this. It's disgusting what he is doing here. Absolute gaslighting, just manipulative bullshit what he is doing here.
And I did see some comments. Larry has a headlamp on the top of his head. He was outside working on his something outside of his house. So he has a light on his head. That's what's on his head.
My husband owns one of those too, actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Logan says it exactly. Like, yeah, he tailors his arguments to the recipient just to gain accolades. Yeah, that's exactly what he's doing. You know, he's tailoring the conversation to what he thinks the recipient wants to hear, to manipulate them to go ahead and grab them up and essentially wrap them up in his cult of personality. It's just, this is actually really gross to watch. It's really gross.
Right. And Chili is not permanently banned from TikTok. All he did was lose one account that had 300,000 followers because of community guideline violations. And of those 300,000 followers, I'm going to theorize that they are not authentic followers, because on TikTok, you can buy verified followers to appear you have more than you do. And he talks about often that he had the number one most watched channel on TikTok. That's incorrect. If you don't have 1 million followers or more, you're barely even noticed. So even with 300,000 followers, he's lying.
Right. Yeah, and somebody else is pointing out too that, you know, he's kind of picking up some vernacular here. He's speaking like he believes a black man would speak right now, which I find to be extremely offensive, you know, first and foremost. But you can hear the way that Chili switches up the vernacular, switches up his speech patterns and the words that he's using because he's talking to a black man. It's just it's so fucking gross to watch. It really is.
Right. So Josh Abrams' involvement. Josh Abrams did an interview with Chili, and then somebody reached out to me that I don't know. I'd never heard of Josh Abrams, didn't know who he was. And they said, listen, you've got to talk to this friend of mine. He's got a YouTube channel. He's a First Amendment auditor, blah, 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 blah. Sure. So I kind of went to his channel and kind of looked around at his stuff, and I see this interview from Chili. My first words to him were, if you have anything to do with Chili DeCastro, I don't want anything to do with you. And Josh lied to me. Absolutely lied. They both did the same thing. The contract Kate told you about, that was me. That was Josh Abrams. He absolutely tried to take my son's story and make a documentary, keep me out of it, and take it all for himself. Same thing I went through with Chili. And so I said some things to Josh because I had a hunch. I wanted to see, and sure as I'm standing here, if Chili didn't spout it out on a video when he threatened to sue me, there's only one person that knew what I said, and that was Josh Abrams. So Josh absolutely ran to Chili, absolutely told him what I said. And it just confirmed in my mind that they are definitely working together.
Yep, and Josh told you essentially that no, that they're not affiliated, they're not working together. He only did an interview that one time, right? Which we know at this point is not true. And that's, you know, further backed up by the fact that, as I had said a couple weeks ago, Josh Abrams noticed that we were starting to look into Chili. He started to contact myself, contact Pat S. He told us essentially if we want to debate Chili, that we could do so, but he would have to set it up. It would have to be on his channel. I told him to kick rocks. And then he started to make some sort of veiled threats to me. You guys know how I am with Josh Abrams. We go back and forth all the time. There's a lot of really snide comments and all that stuff, but he had essentially told me, oh, you better watch out. You're looking into Chili. People are going to come audit your house now. These are very large channels. And I said, you know, they better show up after 5 because I work during the week if that's what they're doing to come to my house. Like, fuck you, Josh. But, you know, they're obviously working together. Abrams obviously knows what we can do to Chili's channel because we did it to his. He wants to threaten us. It's not going to fucking work. I don't care. Again, I do not want people showing up where my children fucking sleep. But if you assholes do it, it better be after the hours of 5 o'clock in the evening. Otherwise, I'll be at work. And if you show up to my work, you'll get the furry potato and Brian Sessions treatment. It's private property. I'm just going to fucking trespass your ass. End of story. End of fucking story.
Yeah, well, like I said, I told Josh that I had money. In case anybody wants to go and see, So I don't. My husband, we're a one family income. We are below poverty level. Good luck suing me, Chili, because Chili makes a lot more money than I do on his con artist. And Josh was the only one I told that to. So when Chili threatens me in Ironton on one of his YouTubes, he says, I hear you have a little bit of money. Boom, busted.
And that, of course, is what he and Josh Abrams are always concerned about is, where they can get the money.
Yep.
That's what they want to do that. Yeah.
Yep. So, but in this conversation with Larry, he goes into great detail about how he's never going to live to see Terry v. Ohio overturned, that the CIA is going to kill him. Yeah, so he's setting himself up for death by cop. He's doing it now with Ironton.
Paranoid fucking. I want to listen to a little bit more of this, even though it does gross me out.
Because we have laws in place that allow the police to kill people without any charges, and that law is called Terry versus Ohio. I will give my life for it, and they'll take it. They're going to kill me.
But I thought you said your life was in danger.
They're going to kill me, Larry. It's not going to be some dumb motherfucker on TikTok. It's going to be the CIA. That's who's going to kill me, Larry. They're listening to me now. They're listening to you now.
Oh, I know I'm being listened to. Because, nigga, I walk the Klan compound. Like, fuck, they're going to Klan after me. Seriously. Like, that's some real shit.
I mean, I didn't anticipate this amount of attention, but I welcome it. That's for sure. I welcome this amount of attention because we have to change this, man. This is terrible. This is horrible. Another kid was killed today. Terrible.
Where?
I sent the video. He got choked out in front of everybody. I'll show you the video when I see you. I mean, it's just like, another kid in Louisiana, his name is Justice for Lathium. Lathium got 60 years in prison because of the 1962 Model Penal Code. The 1962 Model Penal Code was drafted in 1952 and finalized in 1962. What happened between 1952 and 1962? 1954, desegregation happened. So in 1954, they scrapped what they had written and they rewrote it from 54 to 59. 59, it was peer reviewed by the Institute of Law. And what they had done is they changed the standard of what participation meant. The common law is that if you participate in something and you don't actually do the murder or the deed, then you're not charged as a full-on principal. After the Model Penal Code, they said, well, if we can arrest one black guy, we can arrest all of them and charge them all as principals and put them into slave labor. I mean, the reason why people follow me, Larry, is because of what I know. And now I'm applying what I know to get change. I mean, just take a look. I mean, it's just, you go on TikTok and look at Granny Coy Bundy yet?
I'm trying to. Because Tina messaged me, but the message disappeared. I can't find her name. Like.
Oh, you're not going to be able to find your name on there?
No, Tina's. What Caleb Slay is she? Oh, Justice for Caleb.
Justice, the number 4, and then Caleb.
Yeah.
But you're gonna have all kinds of Granny Coy Bundy. She dances in all of her videos. She's really funny. She interviewed me. She interviewed Tina. She interviewed Tina twice. I couldn't have got her this amount of attention without fucking the dweeb freaking out. Not granted, I know it's gonna freak out that bad, but it only helps. It only helps. We have to overturn Terry, dude. I'm trying to tell you. You got to trust me, man. And if you don't, then don't. I understand. But
I'm just not going to jump into a pool. I don't know how warm the water is. Because I do this for a certain purpose, man. Like I say, I fight for all people, dude. And my life has been in danger. And I don't get money. You don't see my Cash App up. You don't see me popping fancy graphics. Or none of that shit, dude. Like, this is real life for a lot of people. And you talking about like it's a chess game reading a book.
Because I have more education than most people, Larry. I'm no better than anybody else. I just know more information. My life matters as much as yours, and your life matters as much as mine.
Oh my God, this guy sucks.
What I'm trying to tell you is,
oh my fucking God, Chili.
I know. It's laughable. And to answer somebody's question, no, that's not me next to Larry. I'm on the phone call. Larry and I were talking and he made me mute myself. I'm the one that keeps sending him messages telling, ask him this, ask him that.
Oh,
And so the dinging in here, that's me.
Once we get off Chili though, like our second topic actually kind of coincides with something like that, but this is just, I mean, the way that his voice is very quiet, it's very conspiratorial, like he is such a disgusting fucking grifter.
Well, why he's quiet is because he's in my basement. It is 12:30 at night. My husband is in bed. My daughter's in bed. I had to tell him multiple times he's got to stop going down there screaming, because he was literally down there making phone calls to every Black person he knew. You better make a video and support me. I've supported your ass. And I mean, and I said, Chili, people are sleeping in this house. You are in my house. Please be a little more respectful. That's why he's whispering. And you can go back on his YouTube channels and you can hear when he's whispering with the paneling. That's my basement.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. And I'm going to love the day when my sister can be in a room with him, whether it on the internet or whatever, and tell him his step repeat wall is historically inaccurate. And I'm not going to point that out because I'm going to let it drive him nuts. But he has the law wrong. He has the Constitution wrong.
Of course he does. I mean, that's abundantly obvious. That was the first thing, obviously, that people over on this side of things, picked up on. A lot of channels have already started to touch on that. I mean, his understanding of the law is rudimentary at best. He has a very tenuous grasp on most things that he is talking about.
Right.
Total fraud.
I didn't know this would go like this. I couldn't do it. A guy comes to me and says, "Hey, let's go grab this guy up, and we're gonna hold a knife to his throat and tell him to go to the ATM and get the money." And you know what I say to the guy? It won't go how you think. He won't respond how you think he will. He won't turn into a victim and then be a little bitch. For all you know, he may pull out his own knife. For all you know, he may just start screaming at the top of his lungs. You never know how it's gonna go. In this particular instance, it went perfect. And we got more attention for Caleb than we ever could have got with just me. And when this video drops with everybody, that's why I've been working 22 hours straight, because this video is going to drop tomorrow morning on Sunday. I got to get this up. And then people will human it. You get pictures on there when you're talking?
Yep.
Okay, so look at this. I'm just going to take a picture till you see it. I've been working on this for fucking... I'm just tired, and my fingers are tired, my eyes are tired.
Cause I'm sure can come out there, man. Like, cause like for me, this ain't like, I don't know. We just got to talk, cause it ain't no game for real, man. People's lives is hurting. People's lives are in danger.
What are you talking about? I'm not playing a game either. You gotta stop with this, man. I mean, but you want to be my friend? Be my friend. You don't want to be my friend? You don't have to be. No one's making you do anything. I ain't forcing you in anything, bro. You want to release and say Chili's full of shit, he's an asshole, then do it. I don't care. I mean, I care about you as a person, but I got to do what I got to do, and I'm going to finish this. I'm going to get this done, and I'm going to get justice for this kid, and this kid is going to overturn Terry versus Ohio. Caleb Slay will be the name on the legislation that overturns Terry, and she will get justice for her boy, and that's all that matters, dog. That's it. Nothing else matters. She has to get justice for her kid. You know that, right? She can't go around like this feeling empty forever. It ain't gonna do any good. She's gonna be miserable. She'll die young of a heart attack or a stroke. You know, we gotta get justice for Caleb. So tell me how that's a game.
Cause you're using a woman's pain, like.
I'm not. What are you talking about?
But you said it earlier that y'all using each other.
She's using me and I'm using her. She said it 50 times herself on TikTok. I'm using Chili to get justice for my son. Okay, use me. I'll help you back. I'll get justice for your son, and we'll also get overturned Terry at the same time. What are you talking about, Larry? I didn't cause this. I'm not here on my own fucking accord. This isn't what I wanted. This is what life dished me. And life dished me you. And so I take it. I said, I'll take that. I'll take that, Larry. I'll take that, Tina. And I will work with those two people.
But life didn't really issue you me, because like I was always here.
You showed up. You showed up,
and it looks like our stance is different because I don't use people for my game. Like I take my ass out there on the front lines.
You're using the wrong words, man. You're using the wrong words.
I'm not like that's.
I don't want to fight with you on the phone, man.
You're not fighting with me. I'm trying to show you,
telling me how to do what I do.
I'm telling you how to do my thing. I'm telling you how to do my thing.
Your way, then you do your thing your way, and I'll do my thing my way.
And you know, I ain't knocking you for your way. I'm just saying my way is different.
Yeah, you are.
So
you are.
Listen. See, that's the thing. You're not listening. Pay attention. My way is different, and I'm telling you that. Like I don't do things like that to where I use people's pain or you know or intentionally set people off. You know, I ain't got time for that shit. Like I take enough attacks on my own. I take enough beatings on my own. You know, like for me to go and initiate some shit, I'm not trying to do. Especially, and Tina's a good woman.
Anything.
You know,
I reached out to a black influencer hoping he would take up the cause of Terry. When he didn't, and he caused a fight, I entered into the fight. What the fuck are you talking about? I would have done that no matter who I was with. I would have done that 100 times out of 100. A man insults me, I'll fight with him. What are you talking about? If I insult you, Larry, you're gonna fight with me.
I'm not. I'm just trying to understand. Like I say, before I get involved in something, I got to stand on it 100. That's me.
Let me just say it again. Then don't get involved. Just fall off of this. Just walk away. I'm okay with that. Love you, bro.
All right, pimp. You have a good one.
No, I mean, you see what I'm saying? I'm not saying goodbye to you.
Oh,
what I'm saying is like, no way. I don't want to lose you, dude. I love you, man. I'm saying you don't have to be involved in this particular fight. We're still gonna be friends. We still hang out, smoke weed, be cool. You know, but you see what I'm saying? But if you don't want to be involved in this because this is a hairy fight, I understand that. It's life and death, and I just
it ain't about it being hairy. It's the way it's being played. You know, and that right there, like I said, man.
They're gonna kill me, Larry. Fuck, are you not listening? I'm sacrificing my life. You're gonna read that I die one day.
Oh my God.
See the thing, like 10 minutes ago, you said these motherfuckers ain't gonna kill me. People don't kill people for no reason over argument.
I mean, I'm repeating myself now, and I'm busy, man. I'm trying to finish the video for Tina.
Well, I'll be over there in a minute.
I'm gonna say it. You know, I mean, you're triggered.
I'm not triggered. I'm calm, dude. I'm smoking weed right now.
I don't want to deal with any kind of drama, man. I've been calm. This is the most trauma I've had all day because you're not understanding. You're saying I'm not listening. Okay, fine. I'm not listening. You don't understand what I'm saying. You literally thought a moment ago I wanted to end our friendship. Are you kidding me? You're my friend till I die. I'm saying I'm here for a purpose, and I'm going to sacrifice my life to overturn Terry. Do you think I think that's a joke or a game? I'm going to die. Do you not know that? Of course, you may not because you haven't studied history like I have, and that's okay.
Dude, you ain't walked through the Klan compound or had a bomb in your car.
I haven't done the things you have done, if you let me finish.
Exactly. So I put my life in danger. I wrote the motherfucker handwritten letter. You know.
I don't know if I can do anything, man. I've got at least 4 more hours of work, and I can't.
Well, go ahead, do your work, and then I'll holler at you when you're done.
Yeah, let me keep working because it's Saturday night, so you'll be up till late anyway. But it's not a game, man. This is real life shit, and I'm telling you now, the CIA, the FBI, one day when to overturn Terry gets traction, I'll be assassinated, and that's a fact. You know, history of studies that I know. I don't think you've ever seen any of my videos, but because you've never seen them, you don't really understand the level of commitment I have to what I'm doing. And I'm not upset with you about it. I'm committed to this, and I'm going to give my life for it. So Caleb's going to die, and I'm going to die. And you and Tina one day will be able to say, there was a guy named Chili who came here, and we're going to watch the legislation be signed and pour out a little liquor for me, man. Say a prayer for me and hope that I got to the good part, you know. But it's 100%, Larry. History tells you.
Okay, and in case Chili's watching this, you're not going to the good part. Just saying.
God, he's so racist. I'm sorry, I had to pause it. I don't even know. I'm just trying. He's like, pour a little liquor out for me, man. Like every single racial, like, just character that you could possibly imagine, this man is like throwing out because he's talking to a black guy. Like, just holy shit. How do you get that racist?
Yeah. And that's why he was called out for being a racist. And just so I'm really clear, if anybody has TikTok, I am Justice #4 Caleb on there. And I have posted the snippet of Chili on YouTube threatening to sue me, Chili starts attacking me in the comments. So for somebody who has told everyone on YouTube he can no longer go on TikTok, he's lying to you. As a matter of fact, one of his TikToks is Alaskan grown LA, I think. So he's still on TikTok. He just lost his big account that he probably bought most of his 300 followers. But every one of his moderators, just to give you an idea, one of his moderators was supporting him monthly. And because of all this, she told Chili she couldn't support him anymore. He wanted Sue and I to try to find where she lives in Michigan so he can sue her for not financially supporting him anymore.
What?
Right.
Yes. Yes. And his favorite thing is, but don't be mad at me. He'll yell and he'll scream at you. And then all of a sudden he'll quiet down and he'll say, but don't be mad at me. And that's classic narcissistic abusive behavior.
Yeah, this guy is the worst. This guy is the worst. Well, Tina, we're here. We're here for you and for everybody else who's being impacted by this guy. And like, you know, guys, we've done this before. We have absolutely knocked somebody like this down to where they belong. We've done it with Josh Abrams. We've done it with Furry Potato. We've done it with Auditing America. Like, we have to do it again. This guy has to be exposed and he has to be fucking stopped. We have to do this because it's only going to get worse from here. He's starting to pick up a little bit of traction on YouTube. You know, he's starting to get the pass arounds. You know, the same few people that come and go to all these different auditors' channels. They're rife for the taking right now, and he is going to grift until we stop him. We have to stop him. We have to.
And there is a Facebook page called Ironton Bad Cops. And if you want to see how bad he has convinced these people, there's a whole thread over there. And I'm posting actual restraining orders. You can go to lacourts.org, and for $4.75, you can search his name, and 3 will pull up, one of them including a permanent restraining order. I posted that, and these people said, oh, you made that up. You've doctored that. That's not real.
And
folks,
unfortunately, that's what happens. That's what, I mean, I can assure you, I can assure all of you, this is the most extensive, I can't even stress this enough, the most extensive records request in the history of Masshole Report that we have ever done. This is multi-state, going back decades. This is the most extensive work that I've ever done on pulling someone's record. Every single police interaction that Jose Maria de Castro has ever had in every state that he has ever lived in, we are pulling. And we will read that out live, and we will provide that live. We will share that with every single YouTube channel out there that is so interested, and we will post receipts for payment and receipts of their requests, so they are 100% verified. Nobody has to spend a dime or a second of their time on this, because we are going to do this, and it will be exposed publicly as we get these in. I have never, ever, ever requested this many records on one single individual in my life. It is astounding the kind of record that this guy has.
And I even posted, because the particular person is a news reporter. Does that sound familiar? He threatened a news reporter in Ironton.
Yep.
And this is a news reporter that he was dating. And I made sure it was her. I reached out to her. She confirmed it. And I posted her picture. And I said, why don't you guys go ask her yourselves? And they told me I fabricated and created the Facebook page.
Yep.
That I'm lying.
It's a cult. You know, it's these cults of personality that come across here. And they will, I mean, he is using people's grief and people's pain. And I see Rogue Nation in the comment, and he's saying Chili won't be hooking up with me. I know that, George. You know, I'm really hoping that there are plenty of auditors or self-proclaimed activists are out here. They don't always like our channel. They don't always like me. That's fine. But they're listening to this and understanding that this man is using people's grief. Do not do not enable this. Do not enable this. It's not okay.
No.
Yeah.
And he's got an extensive history of it. He's got several friends that he couch surfed that are real estate agents. One of them he talks about quite often, Jeff Lloyd. Well, Jeff Lloyd's the one that kicked him out of his office space. He's in his the Terry era film as Jeff Effin Lloyd. That's him. The other one is always in his chat, David Condon. They've done several things together, lots and lots of companies. There was one called Coded Friends, and it looks really creepy, like it's an escort service. And coincidentally, at the same time, one of the companies that Chili had was called Sex Ethics LLC.
Yep.
And then Coded Friends didn't happen. It was supposed to be some social media thing, because there's pictures on Facebook with David Condon handing Chili a $39,000 check. Then it became Coded Court. And you can Google it and watch the little trailer. And it's, you know, he has a cousin that is in the film industry. And from what I can see and and I'll wait until we can verify everything, but it looks like there's a little rift there between them. And now he's talking about how his sister was sexually assaulted when he was a kid. And, you know, those are things he never talked about on TikTok. And Chili would talk about anything on TikTok to get your sympathy. So he's making it up as he's going along.
I mean, it's just like the grift here is, again, I mean, I can say pretty confidently at this point, I've seen a lot. I've been on YouTube for a few years now. I've been in the business of kind of looking into these sort of things, these scams, these grifts, particularly around the First Amendment issues and police accountability for a long time. I am astounded on a daily basis with what I am pulling up on Jose Maria de Castro. Just absolutely astounded. He is the definition of nefarious.
Well, right now he's got people convinced that he can help them as long as they sign a power of attorney.
Yeah, we covered that a little bit too. And, you know, I wish that we could just kind of start to, you know, let the floodgates out and post a lot of the stuff that we're digging up. But you guys know I like to get my ducks in a row and I like to have the full picture of the story. I'm putting you on notice, Delete Lawz. I'm putting you on notice. Like, once I put my mind to this, I am not going to let go until it's done. Like, you should probably just leave here, would be my suggestion. Or don't. That's fine too. I don't shy away from a fight, but for your own sake, I would highly suggest just leave. Just get off YouTube right now. Do it.
Yeah, I mean, he said he had to have $50,000 for his Solving Ironton website.
Right. Yeah, which we're looking into that too, just like we did with Virgo Triad, guys. Like, these website development scams are a dumb idea. They're easy to disprove. Stop it. Just stop it.
Yeah. I just feel bad, and I understand what it feels like for some of the people in Ironton. And that's why I hope nobody just dismisses them. They feel like they have no voice, and here comes somebody with a voice. The problem is that, much like me, where Chili caught me when I was not properly thinking clearly, they're probably not aware of resources of actual nonprofit organizations that have lawyers that donate their time to help them with these situations.
Right.
And I wish somebody would give them those options, like the Southern Poverty Justice League, or, you know, lots of different nonprofit organizations that do help. It just requires a little bit of looking and a little bit of research. And from what I gathered on that Ironton Bad Cop Facebook page, they would just prefer somebody to come riding in on a white horse and do it for them instead of them doing it themselves. Right, Courtney. He's not the savior they're looking for. You are correct.
Not at all. Not at all. Okay. Well, thank you so much for sharing a bit of your story, Tina. I do appreciate that. It must be so difficult to just constantly have to, relive this with everything that's happening in your family.
Yeah, and Chili, by the way, has done more harm for me than he's done good. He has said he can't seem to keep my name out of his mouth. He can't seem to keep Caleb's name out of his mouth. He's still using us. Just a week or so ago, he told everyone in a live stream that Jalen, Goodwin, and Slay were mules for the DEA, which is very false.
Oh, my God.
That's right. So any type of case that I may or may not have going, or Renee may or may not have going, he just damaged us and our ability to keep going. And he doesn't care.
Nope, it's all about those clicks and those views and that money.
Yes.
So we can come together, guys, and I know that we can sort this out, and we can start really injecting some truth and some, put an objective kind of lens on what this guy is doing, and together we can debunk this bullshit. We've done it before, and we'll do it again right now. So again, delete Lawz. I know that you're out there. I know that Josh Abrams has probably showed you this by now. Like, you're on notice, dude. I would just leave. Just fucking leave. Other people have refused to do so before, and it did not work out that well for them. It will not work out for you. So that is enough chili it's 2 hours of chili. Holy fucking shit. I wanted to let you guys know that I am going to be sued. So, hey, you want to see a video?
Sure.
Yeah, check this out. You're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. I'm gonna play this with no context and then work way backwards here.
You followed the policy. You did not. I did follow the policy. Your policy was if you're drinking on the plane, and you're allowed to pull the mask down to drink. You may remove the mask briefly and then promptly return it. That's what I did. Why wouldn't you even give me a warning? No, you didn't. And then what did I put on right after you gave me that paper? And then you started yelling at the lady next to you. I never yelled at her. Never raised my voice. We could hear you. What did I say then? No, if you can hear me, what did I say? We could just hear you arguing back and forth. Oh, so you didn't hear me? We could hear you arguing back and forth. So after a lady lied about me to try to get me arrested, I may have gotten upset. You told the cabin that you would arrest anyone who wasn't wearing masks. Yes, you did. You said somebody would be waiting for you in Denver and it would be ugly. No, I did not say that. I did not say that.
So that is a weaponized MAGA Karen right there, screaming at a flight attendant for an argument over the mask policy. So that is Lauren Hayden, guys. Lauren Hayden she's a very intelligent, talented woman. Don't let the weaponized Karenisms fool you. She is now enveloped in the cult of Turtle Boy. She has engaged in some of his live streams. Real nice lady, real smart. She called Leah Genduso, who is Turtle Boy's ex-mistress, yesterday. She called her 5 times back to back. So just ring, 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 calling her. Leah had never given Lauren her phone number, nor had she invited her to call. So it was interesting, but she gets the phone number. And she calls. Yeah, she's a piece of work. She's fun. She's a good time. So she called Leah, and Leah finally answers. And of course, Leah had called me at some point and said, like, "Oh my God, this woman is calling me back to back and texting me." And I'm like, you should fucking answer it. I would answer it. Find out why Lauren Hayden is calling you like she's having a medical emergency here. So Leah answers it, and Lauren is upset, you guys. She is upset because anonymous Twitter profiles have been posting her Kiwi Farms information and either stating or insinuating, I'm not sure, but stating that she has had sex with Aiden Carney. This upsets her very much. So Lauren has informed us that myself and Leah Duso are apparently responsible for all these anonymous troll Twitter profiles. She's accused me of being a profile by the name of Lounge Lizard, another one, Braille Rider, Aiden's Vinegar Strokes apparently is me too. None of these profiles are me. Lauren has informed us that she will be suing out of the state of Arizona, so that she can essentially subpoena Twitter to identify these Twitter trolls, which I think is a really good use of her time. Really good. Like, so she is going to be suing for defamation. The crux of her argument here with the defamation is that it is defamatory that some of these anonymous Twitter trolls have apparently accused her of having sex with Aiden Carney, which I agree that an accusation that you have had sex with that coked up little red meat, greasy sex goblin is extremely damaging on his face. She has informed us that no, if you accuse her of having sex with anyone that she hasn't had sex with, that is defamatory, because that is accusing her of being unchaste, because apparently we are still going off of case law from 1862. So I do want to just I'm going to pull this up right here right now and just ask, insist really. All right, I just want to insist here. See this woman here? See her?
Baby. Oh, yeah. Keep going. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. I'm about to scream everywhere. Oh! Oh, baby. Yes. Oh. 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 I just squirted. I just squirted. Oh. So good. Oh. Hold on, baby. That's the word. Let me call you back.
Do not accuse that woman of being unchaste. That would be egregious. Do not do that. Do not do that. So I this woman is
Already done.
yeah, right. Yeah. She is going to launch a massive lawsuit to identify anonymous Twitter trolls for daring to to even insinuate that this absolute pillar of society here is unchaste. Not at all. No, God no. Definitely the picture of chastity there. Okay. Yeah. Absolutely fucking incredible. She's a real rabbit hole too. We got to get into Laguna Lauren after we kind of sweep away the whole chili mess, because really fascinating stuff there. We're talking like, sexual assault allegations. There's an entire phone call now where she informs us that she's not dating Aiden. So I just want to make that clear. Per her own words, she's not dating Aiden. They're just friends, sort of. She's just using him because she's going to start her own conservative law YouTube channel, and he knows that she's just using him, and he's fine with it apparently. I'm not going to say that this phone call was recorded. I'm going to say that the person the phone call was made to lives in North Carolina, which is a one-party state. And she may have said in this phone call that she was recording. So it might be a recorded phone call that would be fun to play someday. It might not. I don't know. But yeah, wonderful stuff here. Yeah.
Where do you keep finding these? Jesus.
I don't find them. They find me. I didn't even know who this woman was. And essentially what happened was she started coming into my YouTube channel, my YouTube comments, community tab, the video comments, and telling me that I was a fat piece of shit. I don't work out, she told me that I, didn't have custody of my daughter, which is weird because I mean, I do. She's in bed right now, but just a lot of really mean-spirited, vindictive stuff out of nowhere. And I was like, who the fuck is Lauren de Laguna? Like, who is this person? So I figured it out. Do you know who Martin Shkreli is, by any chance?
No.
Okay. All right. So this is the pharma bro. Essentially, he worked doing some hedge funds for a while, purchases a pharmaceutical company, and then engages in some price gouging. So essentially what became kind of, I wouldn't say like super common practice, but a practice in the pharmaceutical industry is these sociopathic jackoffs would find sort of obscure pharmaceutical drugs that were in some cases life-saving, but they would cure or take care of illnesses that were kind of rare. So not necessarily widespread drugs, but things that people need to save their lives. In this case with Martin, it was an AIDS drug. And they purchase up the rights to this drug and then skyrocket the price, knowing that insurance companies in most cases will pay it. And if there's people who can't afford it, if they die, they die. Sometimes they'll make big promises that, if you can't afford this drug, I'll give it to you for free. We'll make sure that you can have it because the insurance companies will pay it. So essentially, he took part in price gouging medications. This particular, I believe it was AIDS drug that he bought, was, when he bought it, $13.50 a pill. And he skyrockets the price up to an astounding $750 a pill, right? Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, exactly. 2,000%. So Lauren Hayden here, the denizen of chastity, morality, and purity, ends up convincing him to let her suck his fucking dick, moves in with him, and then, is promptly thrown out. When he goes to jail for all this, she sees an opportunity for some attention and some clout. And so she does a bunch of interviews. At first, she does an interview and says, he's not a danger to society. I'm more of a danger to society than he is. He's a really nice guy. Then later on, she changes her story and says, he was terribly abusive to me. He mentally and physically abused me. He was grooming young girls. He cheated on me with minors, just all this shit, right? Then there's another instance where there is a surgeon who, gains infamy. Again, these are not celebrities that we're talking about that she has dated, however you want to interpret dated, but these are people who are infamous. It's not celebrity, it's infamy. So there's a surgeon who is convicted of drugging and raping women with his partner, and Lauren Hayden comes out of the woodwork when he's in the news and says, oh my god, I went on a Tinder date with him and he tried to rape me too. Right? And her story changes. At one point she's wearing a dress, then she's wearing a skirt, then she's wearing a bathing suit. So who knows what really happened here, but this is Lauren Hayden for you. She is just fascinating, absolutely fascinating. So now she has it in her head that Aiden will be her meal ticket to fame and fortune, which she's going to be sorely disappointed. But, in the course of this, she has now decided that she is going to fight his battles, which includes calling his ex-girlfriend back to back unsolicited, and then threatening legal action so that she can take on the very serious, very important, and well-informed task of identifying anonymous Twitter trolls, none of which are me, by the way. I stand by that. So good luck with that. But this is what she's doing. Fantastic. We have a lot of videos on her too. We have Discord calls that we can play. A lot of information on Lauren Hayden. She is a fucking rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Nikki Potnick says she has definitely seen the Red Rocket by now. Nikki, congratulations. You get a lawsuit too. Do not call this woman unchaste. She is not unchaste. Dear God, this is, absolutely against the law what you're doing. Look at her. Look at her acting. Look at the kind of roles that she's, taken up here. Do not tell me that she is unchaste. Like, dear God, come on. Listen to it one more time. Why not?
Oh, baby. Yeah.
Chastity,
Keep going.
purity, Christian values.
I'm about to cream everywhere. Oh, oh, baby, yes. Oh, 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 oh. I just squirted. I just squirted. Oh, so good. Oh.
I like how her acting is phenomenal though. Really, like I really believe it when she's like, "Oh, so good, so good." It's really good. Yeah.
Oh, righty then.
Yeah, yeah. Really good stuff. Chastity. Jason, if you want a lawsuit, then you just simply have to insinuate or state that she has had sex with Aiden Carney, which she hasn't. She's the first to tell you. She just calls his ex-girlfriends on the weekend, back to back to back. Yeah. She had unchastity reverse surgery. I don't know. Don't know what that is. I don't know what it is. Oh my Lord. Ginger, if you're looking for my contact information, I'll put it in the chat. info@massholereport.com. Ed thinks that her video is better than Cyrax exposing himself. I agree entirely, actually. I really do. So that's the email right there, info@massholereport.com. I like it.
Yeah, I'd much rather watch her fake orgasm than Aiden pounding the clown.
Well, I mean, she's never seen that either. She's pure as the fresh white snow. I would never say anything to the contrary. I support Lauren's crusade against the Twitter trolls, and I would like to announce publicly and officially that from now on, all of my legal advice I will be getting directly from her. I have her phone number. She is my authorized legal representative in all matters, big and small, that have to do with any legal issues that the Masshole Report may encounter. We will direct you to Lauren Hayden. She is a very talented, very intelligent young lady, and I trust her entirely. Yep. Yep. Anything else, guys, before we call it a night? We've been live for 2 flipping hours. Oh, look at Delete Lawz says your show is using my content. Dude, I know that is John Golf. So that's cool. That's cool. I wish I could show that. How do I show the private chat? Hold on. Is there a way to do this? I wonder if I can do this way. Share screen. There we go. Maybe if we do this. Check it out. No, it won't let me do it. Maybe this one here. Share. There it is. Yep, that little infinity screen there, but right here we have somebody pretending to be Delete Lawz, or perhaps Delete Lawz himself saying your show is using my content. I would say that no matter who said that, yeah, it's called fair use. Look it up. It's the law. Good deal. All right. Anything else? Because I'm getting ready to wrap this up. So any last minute words here?
Well, thanks for having me up.
Anytime, Hank. Thanks for coming up. It's a good time. Michael Bowman says screenshot it. Yeah, I think I will. Well, now I've memorialized it anyway because I shared it for a minute. I can share it again. That could be a fake Delete Lawz. John Golf trolled us with that last time we talked about him. So there we go. There he is.
Yeah, the real Delete Lawz would have been vain enough to come up on the panel.
Oh no, there was a Delete Lawz. I shouldn't say the real one, but there was a Delete Lawz that was in the basement for a while. I just didn't let it up because I figured it was John Golf. Yeah. Somebody said, looking forward to the deep dive. Me too. I always like that. I always like a good rabbit hole. It's fun. We got 2 coming here. Lynn Ann, I will not be a stranger. Shout out to you, girl. Joe M, one of my favorite recent haters. Joe M can't fucking stand me. He's always telling me what a piece of shit I am, which is fun. My friend Brian pepper sprayed me. Yeah, I mean, should I? Maybe we'll take it out with that. This was a members only stream. So I don't know if I'll play the whole thing, but I got pepper sprayed because I said that I would. And it was really, it was a good time. I do not recommend it. Don't fucking do it. It was pretty painful.
So it's not a fun Saturday night?
No, not really. Not really. Hold on.
Before you play that, anybody who's in range of Forney, Texas, I'm requesting anybody that's available show up to Forney tomorrow morning. Delete Lawz is supposed to be there to file another lawsuit.
Oh,
and I think
attention.
It would be hilarious to show up with portable vacuum cleaners to harass him with.
I know what? No. Please, Hank, you can call for harassment somewhere else, not here. Thank you. All right, thanks. Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, we don't like to call for harassment of anyone. Unless it's me, but yeah, this is me getting pepper sprayed real quick. It's real fun. Oh wait, hold on. Let me see if I can get him when he's sitting at. There it is.
You took it quite well.
Okay, I made fun of it, but I can't see.
Yeah. Water.
Yeah, I need water.
No screaming, yelling.
Yeah, that would make it worse.
I need water. It was really bad. It was really fucking painful.
Compared to most people's reaction to pepper spray, yours is not bad at all.
It wasn't good. It wasn't good.
Oh yeah, it's not a pleasant experience.
I'm gonna, yeah, if you want to see the rest, then you can pay the $2. How about that? Because, you know, we're trying to raise money for the fucking records request that we put in for fucking Chili. But yeah, it was painful. I said that I would, and so I did, but like, I do not recommend getting pepper sprayed. And yes, Fizzy, I rubbed my face, and then as soon as I rubbed my face, was like, fuck, rubbing it makes it so much worse. We didn't film the whole thing. We probably should have, because like, so I got some milk and, you know, milked myself. Poured milk on myself. And then I ran inside. I flushed my eyes with water for about 15 minutes. Then the stinging mostly stopped and it just burned. So I like laid down in front of a window for another 10 minutes. And then I just got up and like finally could open my eyes, reacclimated, and was like, okay, I'm good. And that was the end of that. So like from start to finish, it took me about 30 minutes to recover from the pepper spray. And then I waited like maybe 20 hours, and then I took a shower, and it was a very spicy shower. Just 10/10, do not recommend getting pepper sprayed if you can avoid it. It's not that fun. Yeah. Joe M says $2 all you're worth. I don't even think that I'm worth the $2 if we're being honest, Joe M, but it is the going rate. It is the going rate. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Don't take a month to have another stream. I'm sorry, guys. She really is not doing good, my poor dog. So I'm just, we have another vet appointment on Saturday. A lot of it just has been like, you know, she's in pain. So I'm just laying on the floor with her a lot. Like, honestly, I've been in here in my room for 2 hours and 11 minutes. She's been in my living room. As soon as I get off here, I'm going to go check on her again. It just sucks because, like, I don't know. I don't want to get too emotional, I guess. Just we've had the dog for a really long time. She's bonded to Jake, who's a little bit younger. I'm concerned about what's going to happen to him once she goes. We say that, like, you know, she kind of raised the kids, but she patrolled rooms for monsters under the bed. She, you know, went on a lot of camping trips with us, a lot of trips out, you know, sledding and snowball fights, and just a lot of memories there. So it's just sad, you know, when the time comes, which hopefully isn't soon, but I'm kind of worried that it is, just because, you know, she's really not doing well here, and this growth on her back is just nasty. It's not good. So it's just sad. That's all. Sad.
Yeah, my female pups, she's not doing too well either, but she's 15, so almost 16 now.
Kimmy has a wiener dog. Yeah, so Jolene, she's a dachshund mix. So she's a little bit large. She's 33 pounds. When we laid her at the vet on actually Saturday, I had to take her back to the vet because she's just in like so much pain. And they gave her antibiotics. They gave her a shot of antibiotics when we took her the first time, and then some IV fluid under the skin. And then they gave her, antibiotics to go home with. And so we had them for a few days, and the fever just really wasn't going down. And she just seemed like she was in a lot of pain. She was whimpering a lot. So take her back on Saturday, and they gave her more antibiotics and another prescription to go home with. And nothing for pain, unfortunately, but she's 33 pounds, so she's like a larger dog, I guess, but she's mixed with dachshund. And we'd always thought that she would live till probably 15, 16, 17 years old because of the dachshund in her, which she might still. I don't know what's going to happen. It's just, it doesn't look great right now, so what a bummer. Yeah, anyway, yeah, I don't even want to, it just makes me sad. I don't like to get sad in public, really. So, that's that. Yeah. So, anything else before we go? Because I know, now I'm all messed up again. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, thanks for joining us, guys. And we'll be back soon. And, again, I would really suggest to delete Lawz, that he just get the fuck off of YouTube, but he's probably not. So, yeah, right.
He's too vain.
Even look at Joe. Joe's been a fucking asshole to me, but he is praying for the dog. I appreciate that, Joe. I'm not just I do. I appreciate that. So, all right, guys. Have a good night, and I will see you guys soon.